You are listening to the enhanced version of the Jeff Rubin Show. The enhanced version means that there are pictures. So when you hear this noise, I'm just kidding, there's no enhanced version this week. Oh, man. Oh, you should have seen your faces, you fucking assholes. This is the only joy I get anymore. Okay, let's start the show. Welcome to the Jeff Rubin Show. I am Jeff Rubin, and today on the phone I'm here with Andrew Smith, also known as AndrewSmith1986, one of the most prolific commenters on Reddit. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Thanks for having me aboard.
So I did some research, and as far as I can tell, kind of your claim to fame is you have the second most comment karma on Reddit.
Yeah, I had the most for a while, but it slipped away from me.
So what exactly does that mean, having the most comment karma?
I have the most useless points on a website.
But how did you earn those useless points? Presumably by leaving comments?
Basically, if you leave a comment, people read it, they can either give you a point or they can take a point away from you. So this is the aggregate of all my points total. But I've probably had, I don't know, 1 million upvotes, but I've probably lost, more than I've ever. And when you first make one, you don't get a point from yourself. So I'm going to say 85% of all my comments have either 0 to 2 points total. So they don't really affect my score.
So these 300,000 represents, is that the score? It was 300,000 something?
It's 418,224 right now.
Okay, so that represents 418,000 comments that have received points. So that means you've left more than that.
No, it's not so much like each comment. Like I have.
Oh, because you have some comments that get a lot of points.
Some comments get a lot of points. Some comments lose a lot of points too. But my total aggregate score of I have 15 comments or more than that with over 1,000 points. So that would be 15,000 points for only 15 comments.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how often do you comment on Reddit?
I have a Linux wizard set me up a graph, and it basically counts your last 1,000. It tells you how many per day. But I was making about 100 to 400 comments per day for close to a whole year. And whenever I graduated last year, and my last day of school was July 1st. I got my passport July 2nd, and July 4th I left the country. And I had 10,000 karma when I left the country, and so I came back 15 months later. But I commented pretty regularly for 11 months and got up to about 340,000 karma.
So when you say you graduated, you're talking from college?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in geology.
So is that when you fell in love with Reddit, when you were in college?
Well, I used to be, as strange as it was, I was a Dig user and a 4chan user for a while. But I mean, I was a gamer before I was ever I played a lot of Counter-Strike and stuff. And then I did 4chan for a bit and Dig. I didn't really understand Reddit whenever I first went to it. It was over 2 years of me being on Reddit before I made my first comment. And I spent a lot of time, and it's a good website. Even if I didn't comment, I would still go to the website. All my friends, I've gotten my friends and family, they read it. My sister will comment on my Facebook about what happened, what I said on Reddit. And so it's a useful website to me is how I don't really try to think anything past that it's just a website. Whenever I close my computer at the end of the night, it doesn't stick with me.
How often are you going to Reddit?
Well, I quit for 3 months. Whenever I moved home from Germany.
You say I quit for 3 months like it was cigarettes or drugs or something.
Well, I quit cigarettes. It took me 2 days to quit cigarettes. It took me a month to quit Reddit.
Reddit seems to have blown up a lot in the past year, especially. I mean, it was always big, but now it's more than a website. It's this force. And it seems like there's a lot of people like yourself that are refugees from Dig or from other communities. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think I'd like to think that Reddit was an actual community, but if Reddit screwed us, like if Alexis or if Eric or if any of the other admins screwed us, like Dig, like the users of Dig saw that Dig fucked them, royally fucked them, so they left.
How
And
did the users of Dig get royally fucked?
they screwed up everything so that certain people were worth more to the community than like the average user. I mean, Reddit has like 38 million users or something ridiculous like that. And yes, I have the second most karma, but my posts, like 70% of all my submitted links go nowhere. They are completely downvoted. And so like my say doesn't mean shit. Because someone could, the second I make a comment, someone can downvote it, which I'll lose a comment point, but not only that, it'll go to the bottom of the page, so no one will see it. So you can just screw over a user. Like I pissed off. I'm a moderator of a certain like 4 large communities. I'm a moderator of like 30 communities, but 4 default ones, and I pissed them off one time.
How did you wait? Which so Reddit? Let's just for the people that aren't familiar. Reddit, in addition to being an aggregate of everything, is broken up into several subreddits, and there's some for games or pictures or funny stuff or literally anything under the sun.
There are 300,000 subreddits, and like girls in yoga pants is one. Basically anything.
And you moderate 30 of them, including 4 of the default ones that are advertised all the time on the front page. So these are 4 very large communities. They're advertised on the front page of one of the biggest websites in the world. And those 4 communities are
pics, Ask Reddit.
What is Ask Reddit?
Ask Reddit is you can post, like, it's supposed to be thought provoking. So it's like it's supposed to be. I mean, they post a lot of bullshit, and like I got famous. I'm using air quotes. I know you can't see that, but I got famous.
I do that all the time on this. Yeah.
I made a shit ton of comments, but I surf new because I get bored.
I feel like we got to keep breaking this down. Surfing new means most people, you go to Reddit, you're seeing the top stuff. You're one of the people really doing the work and looking at all the submissions and figuring out what should be the top stuff.
What should be basically, if you make a submission, if you don't get 15 upvotes in the first hour, it will not be seen by anyone. If you get 4 downvotes in the first hour, you're screwed. And so your post is not going anywhere. And I mean, it sucks, but some of it's shit. Like, well, they'll ask, like, for Ask Reddit, they'll be like, what's your favorite book? Which gets asked once a month, twice a month. I mean, we've already gone through this. You can use the search, the website search, and find what Reddit favorite books are, or what's their favorite movie, or what's their favorite quote. I mean,
it's kind of a way of just asking a large number of people a question pseudo-anonymously. Is that a good way to describe it?
But you see, I don't think, like, I was a 4chan user for a while, which is anonymous. I mean, there's no names on it. But, like, my username is my real name. It's my real name. You can find me. People friend request me on Facebook having no clue who I am besides my username. And they'll be like, oh, are you the Redditor, Andrew Smith? But on Ask Reddit, like, the number one post right now is I've been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. I'm a mother of a 2 and 5-year-old. I'm looking for 2 things, practical advice and anything to make me laugh. So you can ask a question. It can be about anything. There are certain rules, like it can't be, does anyone else love to eat? Yes or no questions should not be. It should provide a basis of conversation.
A lot of them are very silly or funny or whatever, but the one you just described is obviously very heavy, and this is a lot of people coming together to help this woman who is posting this right now as we're having this conversation.
Yeah, 1,000 people have commented. I mean, 1,000 comments have happened so far. So it's.
Did you comment on that one?
No, I haven't really. I just got. I mean, I just got home.
So what are the other subreddits that you moderate?
I do funny.
Funny, self-explanatory, anything funny. That is the biggest subreddit on Reddit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think announcements is bigger, but announcement is just announcements. I mean, you can unsubscribe to any subreddit. And so a lot of people unsubscribe to funny and all the other ones because, they just that's not what they're looking for when they get on.
Yeah, I think that's one of the nice things about the site. is that you can kind of craft your own experience.
I was a moderator for Pix, and I wasn't even subscribed to Pix for a while
Well,
because
what does a moderator on Reddit do? Because everyone is working on submitting links and voting on links, and
well, basically, you're a janitor, and you're a super overpowered janitor. I can remove comments, I can remove posts, but the most important thing about moderating is that sometimes Reddit has an automated spam filter, and it's basically if it thinks you're a spammer or if you're submitting like posts that to a website that's known for spam, it'll block your post automatically. No one ever sees it. It never gets to the news section. It just sits in purgatory. And so the moderator's job is basically to clean out the spam filter. Like make it so that all these posts go to new, get voted on, get seen by the community. But it also you craft the moderators build the subreddit. Like I'm a moderator for like 30 subreddits. Like 15 of them I made myself. And I'm gonna say 12 of them, I'm the only user in this subreddit. Like you don't have to I have a subreddit that's closed and no one can see it. No one can even take a peek into it just for a joke. And I use this joke on the website all the time. But people can't.
Wait, how do you use that as a joke?
Okay, well, people accuse me of like they call us power users, but it's really a bullshit term. But they think that we have this secret cabal of users, and they treat us like we are the Illuminati, and we are guiding the subreddit. I mean,
You're
all of it to our, we're bending it with our minds, basically. They accuse us of ridiculous shit constantly. And so
you're kind of talking about them though, like they're just the proletariat. They're just the unwashed
dude, I refer to
masses.
them as the proletariat. I refer to them as the proletariat all the time. But the proletariat are the only ones that are free. So I mean, even if I call you a peon, well, I refer to subreddits as kingdoms. If I create a subreddit, it is my kingdom. I don't care if there's one user in it or a million users. I can do with it what I want, and the admins agree.
But wait,
The
isn't your
admins,
role as running this kingdom? I thought you were just describing it as a janitor. Aren't you just the janitor of the kingdom?
because I didn't create Funny. I didn't create Pix. I didn't create IMA. I didn't create Ask Reddit. I am just the creator, or the other mods decided that I would do a good job. And I'm going to say it mostly because I'm here all the time. Like I was Ask Reddit was my first one, and I was voted in by the community. They asked for volunteers, and I said, I'm one, and everyone else was like, he's here all the time. Why not, let him help
Because
out?
the work is unpaid, right?
Yeah, I don't get paid shit. I get paid. Well, we did an IMA the other day about being moderators, and I made a joke about accepting sexual favors. But like I had someone the other day, I helped them out, and they have a product that they sell, and so he was like, "Give me an address, and I'll send you, one of our products." And I was like, "Look, I don't take anything from the Reddit users, even my friends online. I've only accepted 2 gifts, and they're both from actual friends of mine online on Reddit." And I'm like, because I don't want this. I don't want to ever be put in a position where I can take something from someone and then they feel screwed.
So earlier you were saying that people were angry with you at some point over your running of picks, I think.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I like to think that the default Reddit should be safe. They should be safe for people from the age of 2 to the age of 100, and that it should be not a hostile environment. And so I remove picks. The moderators, there's 24 of us now, and we don't agree with a lot of things.
How did you
Like, I
guys
don't
become
agree.
moderators if you didn't start it? You were just voted in at some points. They just needed help, and
I was voted to Ask Reddit, and then I was doing good in Ask Reddit, and I was like you kind of like I'm a moderator of 4 defaults. British English Police is a moderator of like 6 defaults. Like some of us, if you do good in one, they'll offer another one to you, and it's not like people think it's. Is that your static or mine?
I'm not hearing it, but your voice sounds. Keep going, keep going.
They think it's nepotism, but it kind of is, but it's really not. And so I just got offered picks, and then I'm friends with someone, and he gave me funny, and I gave him picks because he did a good job in Ask Reddit. And then for IMA, I kind of helped save IMA because the creator decided to take it down, and everyone got pissed off. And then they started submitting his Facebook, and so
Wait,
I went on
okay.
his.
So IMA, let's define IMA real quick. IMA is one of the most famous parts of Reddit, I'd say. I think it's one of the best.
IMA means I am a, and my favorite one is I am a, you guessed it, lion tamer. Ask me anything. And it's just a dude who's a lion tamer. And you can ask him, how do you train lions? How do you get them to do this? We've had senators. We've had, we had Anthony Weiner or whatever the dude's name is. We've had Penn and Teller. We've had lots of
Sure,
famous and
the
famous.
Louis C.K.
We're
one
having some
that happened
famous-
recently, I saw all over the place, and it was a great read.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's the brilliance of this community is that like it's like I'm trying to get Stephen Fry with me and British English Police, and we're trying to get like people that the community would love to ask questions. And so, well, the creator, 32 Bytes, decided that he didn't like the direction that the subreddit was going. And so he closed it. He archived it. You could still read all the old posts, but you could not make any new comments and you could not make any new threads.
So if you start a subreddit, you have the right to just shut it down.
Yeah, and that's what the admin said. They said we would prefer that he would give it up to the next in line, but it's his to do. It's his kingdom.
So there's moderators, and then there's a level above it. That is what this guy was, which is what, a founder, an administrator?
No, well, the administrators are like the people who actually work for
Okay.
Reddit. He's just the creator of the center.
And so once you have this power, I don't know why I'm so into the superpower thing. You can delete posts, I'm assuming, that you don't think suit you.
Yeah, I can delete. I don't personally, but we've had some fights where there was a user who worked for she was an SEO or something. She worked and she was like an advertiser, and she would delete posts against the company, like negative posts or something like that. Like she was using it to make money, or there's some drama. I try not to get into the drama. We call them witch hunts, and I try not to. Like, that's one of the only things I'm serious about in my subreddits is if you witch hunt people, I will send your name to the admins to get you site-wide banned. Because we should not turn on our community.
Your rule is that if people are trying to figure out if another administrator is maybe trying to abuse their powers, that's a witch hunt, and you think...
No. It's not so much that. It's not even about the moderators. It's about, like, they'll turn... There was this one girl who... Every week, she would post that she's shaving her head for cancer and she's trying to raise money. And she would post it to Ask Reddit looking for money to donate to cancer. And like legit, she really did shave her head for cancer. And I would remove her posts because it does not belong in Ask Reddit. There's assistance. There used to be there's Self. There used to be Reddit.com. That was the actual subreddit. It just didn't belong in Ask Reddit. So I would remove them. And then everyone turned on her, accusing her of keeping the money and all this other shit.
That seems unrelated to what that seems like a minor breach of Reddit etiquette that she posted it in the wrong thing. But then that led to accusations that she was keeping the money?
Well, it led to a bunch of shit because she would post it like twice a week. And so we never, she never proved that she would shave her head or anything like that. So they found out her name. They found out her address. I think she got death threats. Like, shit went down. And then come to find out she was legit and she shaved her head. And so Gawker, which is a shitty website, like accused us of being worse than Hitler and all kind of other shit. But like, that's a witch hunt. They turned on her.
So witch hunt's just being skeptical of someone when they post something on Reddit.
But it's not just skepticism. It turns to like real life stuff. People get like, thousands of pizzas delivered to their house. People get death threats, calls into their work, calls to their parents.
Yeah, Reddit has become, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but Reddit has become something of a force. Like it has real world implications.
And that's the problem with witch hunts, because it turns to me having drama online to me having drama in real life.
So as a moderator, you have to remove posts that are inappropriate for whatever reason. Can you remove specific comments?
I can remove, yeah.
Can you promote comments? Can you promote posts?
No. No, I can't. I can only upvote, but I can distinguish myself as a moderator, which
Right.
turns my name green and it makes it says, the voice of God. Like I do it more than all the other moderators disapprove of how often I use it. I may use it for jokes. Like someone will fuck around with me and I'll ask who wants a ban in all caps with my moderator distinguish on. And they see that it's obvious just in fun, but they see it as you shouldn't do this unless you're speaking official subreddit, unless you're talking on behalf of all the moderators.
But you're just using it kind of as a goof.
Yeah, like I want to remind the users that I don't get paid for this job. I'm just here to try to make the community better. And I want them to remember I'm just a person, like I'm a user just as them. I spend more time on here than most people, and I'm here for fun. If Reddit stopped being fun to me, I would stop going to Reddit. I would if like that's the thing is it's just in the end of the day, it's just a website. I have a girlfriend, I have a life outside of this, I have friends, family. I can I don't need Reddit to complete me, but I like it. I enjoy Reddit. And so I try to continue to have fun as a moderator. I don't remove any posts, and we have discussions. They want to start removing. A lot of the moderators want to start removing racist posts, racist comments, sexist comments. Just negative comments that bring down the community. And I agree they bring down the community, but it should be to the community to downvote these posts. If a racist joke is top of the page, that's because people out there put it there. And who am I to say that this is not okay? I don't like them and I downvote them, but I don't think we should remove them because, who am I to censor what everyone
So you
reads?
kind of believe in the system of Reddit itself as a way
But
of surfacing the will of the people.
but the thing about it is that like, well, okay, let's get back to why they turned on
Yeah,
me.
believe me, I was getting there.
Okay, well, I believe pics should be safe. I think all the default Reddits. And so I remove nudity. I remove anything that should not be seen at work or by a 10-year-old, basically. Like, I don't want gore there. I don't want nudity
This is
because,
in the pictures subreddit.
yeah, and people think, the users seem to think that if it ends in .jpeg or BMP, that it belongs there, regardless of the
In
content.
your mind, what
And
does belong there? What
I
should be
think,
in because pictures could be anything obviously.
I mean, anything besides anything safe for work
Okay.
is my logic
What
to
do
it
the what is
because
the creator? Because you were just a moderator. There's these 15 people in front of you. What do they think?
well they agree and we've voted and we've even had the community I whenever we vote, whenever I submit what I want as a new rule, we vote amongst the moderators because we have the only say. If the users want A and the moderators want B, the users can suck it because they have no control. But a lot of the subreddits, we don't rule with an iron fist because we want the communities to grow. And so I'll submit a rule to the moderators. If they agree or it's near like 50-50, we'll let the community decide. And recently I asked the community if they want birthday posts allowed. And the community said no, they didn't. So I added that rule. But we voted on all of them. There's no screenshots, no gore, no porn, no solicitation of votes. But I think that pictures should be safe for everyone.
Okay.
And so
So everyone got
there were
angry at you, and
well, there was a post that was gratuitous. It was girls in yoga pants, and it was basically zoomed in photos of girls' asses in yoga pants. And
everyone's loving
I
yoga
mean,
pants on Reddit.
yeah, that's the thing. Is that it's a bunch of dudes. It's mainly I'm gonna say like 85% of these are males 18 to 30 years old, and so of course they like seeing chicks' asses. But what about all the other users who don't want to see this? What about all the women, all the kids that don't want to be? Because whenever nudity was allowed on pics, two of the top 10 would almost always be nudity.
Okay, so I
It,
think
it,
I think we understand why you deleted these pictures and what you were trying to do. So how did the community's anger manifest?
Well, I deleted the pictures and told him to go to Girls in Yoga Pants, which is a
I
subreddit.
mean, they built this place specifically for you.
Yeah, exactly. And so he was pissed because Girls in Yoga Pants has 4,000 users and Pix has 1 million users. And so he wants to basically whore himself for karma. He wants to get upvotes, which is the name of the game on Reddit. I mean, that's why I'm talking because I'm number two.
Is this the first
And
thing you've
so
actually gotten out of having as much karma as you do? I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like this is something this honor is something you've received, but we are kind of talking because you have this high comment score. Does it the points you can't redeem them for like Reddit bucks or anything like that. They're just fun points, right?
I've dated two girls that I had only known through Reddit.
Yeah, I'm not talking about using Reddit, which is obviously like a worthwhile activity
No,
and
no,
can
no, no,
enrich your
no,
life,
no,
but
no,
the
no.
points
It's not.
specifically, they're not really worth anything.
No, they're not worth anything except getting your name out. I mean, millions of people. Like if I ever run for president, at least 10 million people have read my name. It's in their subconscious. But beyond that, like I've been at a bar and introduced myself, and then being like, "Oh, you're on Reddit, right?" And then they'll buy me a drink because
Wait,
they know my name.
people have recognized you by screen name at a bar and bought you a drink.
Yeah. Well, it was one of my first times it was like going to see this girl I'm dating. We met at a bar, and it was the day I helped save IMA. And so she asked me why I was so happy, and I was like, "Oh, well, I helped save on a website." And she was like, "Okay." And then we got into talking to it and about how I'm like kind of popular on it, and so this dude, I was like, "Watch." And so this dude was just randomly at the bar next to me. I'm like, "Hey, you read it?" And he was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Hey, you've ever heard of Andrew Smith 1986?" And the guy's response was, "He's a gentleman and a scholar." And I was like, to the girl, I was like, "See?" And my girlfriend thought I set that up, that I knew this
It
dude,
is right.
but
Yeah, that's unbelievable that happened.
I've never seen the dude. But like I've also
You have to
gotten
be
a
the
friend
only
of
person in the history of the world who's ever managed to impress someone with your act. Well, that's not true. I mean,
she's not impressed though. She's not impressed at all. She hates Reddit. But but
but
like
that what an amazing situation to be like. Watch this. Hey, buddy, did you hear about the guy that saved the website? That's me. What
yeah,
happened there
I
when you
mean,
saved IMA? What does that mean? You saved it.
okay, well he shut it down.
The
And so
creator shut it down.
shut it down. And so I was they were posting his Facebook. And so I'm removing every time they post his Facebook, I'm removing it because I think you should be safe from having your Facebook posted everywhere. They found out his real name, but his Facebook had his personal phone number
Yeah,
on it.
obviously this. I mean, that's obvious. You don't have to sell me. It's obviously inappropriate to track this guy down in real life and harass him based on his
Right.
decision to
So,
shut down
well,
IMA.
I call him and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I know you don't know me. I'm from the internet. It's Andrew Smith 1986. And, well, you need to change your Facebook privacy because they are
How did
pissed."
you call
Because
him because you got his number via Facebook?
yeah, but he thought when he didn't think it was going to be a big deal because whenever like there used to be a marijuana subreddit, it's still there, but the moderators were like, very strict, and so a different subreddit.
That seems hard to believe.
Yeah, well, another subreddit spawned from it, and it's trees, and now trees is 10 times bigger than marijuana. When one shuts down, 10 pop up. So he thought when IMA shut down, 10 new ones would pop up, but that just wasn't the case because like so many famous people had already done it on this section. You can't just make a new section and have the same,
But
you
isn't that what
know.
the marijuana people did?
But marijuana compared to who cares about the marijuana thing? I mean, if Reddit shut down, no tears would be shed for marijuana. If Reddit shut down, I mean, we've had Neil Tyson, DeGrasse Tyson, do 2 IMAs. We've had Ken Jennings come talk to us a few times. We've had like presidential runners up and stuff. Like we've
You're
had.
saying the IMAs are more important than the marijuana
I would
subcommunity.
I would weigh them as more important than basically any other subreddit.
Now, as the moderator of IMA, you do actual. It's not just deleting things or maybe shutting it down if you're not in the mood anymore. You have to actually verify that people are who they say they are, right?
Yeah, it's that's like the only real work to do for IMA.
Has there ever been one that's particularly crazy to verify or difficult to verify?
Oh, the dude that was having sexual relations with his mom. It took months to
How
verify.
did
It
you
was
how did you
crazy.
verify that?
I wasn't there for that. I avoid all those. I do not want to read about someone having sex with their mom. Like it's just not
So
my
this
cup
guy
of
was
tea.
someone who was having sex with his mom. He said, "Hey, internet, let's talk about it. You got any questions? Ask me." Your job, or another one of the moderators' job, is to verify that this guy is actually having sex with his mom. How do they do that?
But like I'm trying to search for it right now. But like I don't remember how they did it. But there was I think some drama ensued because of it. But it took months. But like the other day there was one like the dude had a split penis. So he sent
Oh
photos of
God.
his said split
Yeah.
penis with his username on a card next to it. And we've had there was one where it was the girl had her life ruined from her posting her making homemade porn with her boyfriend. Like she got fired from her job because of it, because like it got out. And so she verified it by posting her Facebook page. And you can obviously tell it's the same girl and saying, like messaging me saying this is, who I say I
God,
am.
do you
And
have
like,
any non-depressing examples?
dude, there's so
Maybe one
many.
that's like a little wackier or something goofy happened.
Well, the other day it was the dude from the guy who like boxes up everyone's shit on hoarders and takes it away. He sent me, I was like, can you verify this? And so he sent me a photo of him holding a card in his hoarder's outfit, like his hat and his work attire on. I mean, there are some dude did it. He's in the Harvard secret club and he's from an aristocrat family. So he had his Harvard ID and he had a book open to him about his family. Like it's all kind of crap. Like, I mean, it depends on what it is. But he took down the subreddit. I called him and I was like, "Look, they want your skull on a silver platter." And he was like, "Okay, well, I will give it up to the next in charge, who was Carminaut, who was the number one commenter for years and years and
My
years.
God.
I passed him up actually. I was the first person to surpass
Who's
Carminaut,
number
and
one?
then
Who surpassed you? Not to put
Bob
press on it, or I don't know, bring up old wounds.
probably hitting on you past me up.
Hitting on. Oh, the name is probably hitting on you. You're not saying they probably did it. The name is probably hitting on
PHOY.
you.
Yeah, PHOY. He did it. He passed me up in a. I posted. I'm friends. I mean, like I talk to these people. Like I've talked to probably hitting on you, hundreds of times. I mean, we run into each other. We're on every fucking subreddit basically. And so he posted, "It's lonely at the top," when he passed me up.
How'd that make you feel?
Well, I had just recently I wrote a big fuck you post to Reddit, but it wasn't really a fuck you post. It was basically saying, "Here are the problems with Reddit. I'm leaving. Y'all need to fix this
What were the
shit."
problems with Reddit?
Oh man, it's racist and it's not really racist. It depends on where
But
you look.
but
But
it's
it's
everybody. Like, how do you expect? How is that? Who are you demanding make
the
Reddit
users.
unracist?
The users. If you downvote this crap, no one sees it. The trolls will get bored.
So you were like,
I mean,
guys,
we are
racism's
better.
gotta go, or I am out of here. No more Andrew
No,
Smith, 1986.
no, I was leaving anyway because I was going home. I was leaving Germany to come back home, and so I only like okay. I amassed 330,000 karma in 11 months because I left my friends and family. If I would have been at home, I would still only have 20,000 karma.
But now that you're back,
Like
and now you're back at home, and you're commenting a lot, but less.
well, I'm commenting now more because I'm like I moved. Oh, I'm from one town and I moved to another town. I have a girlfriend and I have work and stuff like that. But we have different schedules, and so like I'll be fucking off at home for 4 hours watching football or something like that, and I'll just Reddit the whole time,
Hmm.
and I can amass 200, 300 comments in 4 hours. It's I can it's a lot of time, and I mean comments take 10 seconds to make.
Do you have
How
a
long?
particular style of comment? Are you giving your opinion? Are you trying to add more facts? Or what do you usually try to get across in your comments?
I say like I comment and people bitch at me. Like a lot of people hate me. Like whenever I got witch hunted about the yoga pants, half the comments were, yeah, fuck Andrew Smith anyway. I downvote every single post I see. And it's like four people were like, yeah, he's at negative 300 for me. And someone else was like, he's at negative 500 for me. Like, people hate me because but I don't try to pretend to be anyone I'm not. I am who I am. My username is my first name, my last name, my birth year. My friends and family are on Reddit. If I lie, they can call me out instantly. And so, like, there's no point for me. It's lying on the internet. What do you gain from this? I'm not lying to get a better position, like a job or anything like that.
So
Like, and
you're
so,
just spitting the truth. You're just kind of saying the first thing that it comes to your mind
yeah,
and just gotta get it out there.
yeah, that's the thing is like this website is for opinions and everything else. And so I just post whatever I'm thinking at the time about the subject. Earlier, there was a dead rat with an alcohol bottle in its hand. And so I said, it's a hooded rat. I miss my pet rat. And I posted a photo of my pet rat that I had to put down. And so but people say that I'm no substance because I post normally like 1 to 3 lines, short, sweet, because that's how I change. I mean, anyone who listens to this can tell the topic changes every 20 seconds.
That's me too.
That's the thing. And so if you commented on Reddit, are you going to go into a huge diatribe writing 2 pages long for some shitty cat picture? No, you're going to say, I like cats. I fucking hate cats. And so
do the accusations that your comments have no substance bother you?
No, I don't give a fuck. It's people on the internet saying they don't like me. Who cares? I mean, I'm going to go to bed at night and I will never talk to this person again.
But you're putting your real name out there.
I'm Andrew Smith. I know 15 Andrew Smiths.
But
yeah, my name, but this is me. I have nothing to hide. I am who I am. If you don't like me, I probably, you wouldn't like me in person. Why should you like me online? Why should I be anything that I'm not?
What do you think is the point of Reddit?
That's like saying, what do you think the point of, anything is? I think the point of Reddit is to have lots of minor communities, subreddits. I mean, it's a place to congregate. And we don't really, I mean, no one has that online. There are millions of forums out there for any specific topic, but it's rare. And like, I'm going to say 4chan's probably one of the biggest ones because there is the random board, the autos board, the anime board, the video games board. Reddit is a lot like 4chan, except for there's less anonymity and there are way more topics that you can discuss.
Yeah.
Like, there are 300,000 communities. But like I'm on Wicked Edge, which is a straight razor and double edge razor shaving thing. Like that's one of my favorite subreddits. Or Guns, which is just about gun enthusiasts. And like, but like,
you do both those things. You have a gun and you shave with a straight razor.
I normally shave with a straight razor, but I have a beard currently. But I want to get a nice double edge razor. But I don't have any guns. But I don't have to own a gun to like guns. But it's not just people, oh, this is what I killed, this is what I shot. It's people asking help. I want to build this type of gun. Where should I look? Or this part of my gun fucked up. What do I need?
I think people lose track of that Reddit is not just one thing, but whatever you're looking at is, in fact, several little things. And when you're looking at like the Reddit.com homepage, you're seeing the best of all those little things.
I wouldn't even say best of because like there's advice animals, which is just memes, but I think should be removed. I think atheists.
I'm with you on that one.
I think atheism should be removed because I don't think should be forced. Because whenever you join Reddit,
yeah, atheism's one of the defaults, right?
Yeah, and so I don't.
It's one of the biggest communities on Reddit. It seems like anyway.
But doesn't the size of community has nothing to do with being a default.
Fair enough. Earlier you mentioned the owners by their first name. Have you ever actually communicated with them?
Yeah, well, never Alexis. I've messaged Alexis before, and I'm friends with him on Facebook, I believe. But I mean, I've never talked to him. But Huey Priest, Eric, he anytime I have a problem, if I need it solved right now, I message him on AIM, and he will tell me like he's told me like he'll either fix my problem or he'll say straight up no. And if you're a moderator of any subreddit that has more than 5,000 people, you're supposed to join Mod Talk, which is a subreddit with an IRC chat.
Obviously, internet relay chat, kind of,
Yeah, but like it's private. Like there are passwords to it.
Right, right. So there's
And
a chat room. There's a chat room.
yeah, but the all the admins hang out there. And so like whenever 32 Bytes shut down IMA, I was in there. I had nothing to do with IMA. I just called the dude and was like, "Look, you need to turn it down." And like one of the admins messaged me saying, "Hey, dude, thanks. Thanks for trying to, help us when, you didn't need to do that. You did this on your own just to help the
Yeah, it
community."
seems like you personally, and other people too, but you have as much influence on Reddit as the owners do.
Well, that's the thing about it is that the owners can do things and the admins post shit all the time and they get downvoted. I mean, just because you have actual say in the website doesn't mean that your post is better than anyone else's. But yeah, like I mean, whenever I have people that'll message me, like whenever I got rid of the yoga pants, I got like 40 PMs, like private messages saying thanks. I'm a girl. I don't go on a Reddit to see tits and ass every day. Thank you for making it better for me, which I can understand. And that's why I was trying to do it. And so if I do something for them, they might see my post and upvote me because I helped them out in the
Who
past.
were the people that were like, no, there should be tits and ass and funny, or in pictures? They're demanding that there should be
Okay,
gore in there.
the thing about it is, it's not about the actual content. It's about the thing of who the fuck are the moderators to censor what I see. They say as long as it is a picture, it belongs there because it is titled piss.
It seems like maybe the solution is to do pictures and then also have a not safe for work pictures. It seems like two different things anyway.
They
Certainly you
have
could
that. They
appreciate
have
that you
that.
might want to split those up.
They're already split up. There are 1,000. There's boobies. There's fucking not safe for work gifs. There are thousands of subreddits to post women in. But they want it exposed to 25 million people, not 2,000. And so they bitch about who are you to stop people from seeing my posts? Well, I'm a moderator, so fuck off. But I don't say that. I say, I basically say, this is where you should post it. You know the rules. And I'll remove it. And so he messaged me back basically saying, I will spend the next, month of my life ruining your Reddit. And that's what he tried to do. And he posted the moderator Andrew Smith is on a total power trip. And he posted and I lost like 10,000 karma in like every comment I made lost 160
Does that
points
bother
for
you to
about.
lose the karma?
No, dude, it's points on the internet.
So
I mean,
yes.
no, I mean, I don't care. No, I mean, I gain and lose karma. Like, I don't delete posts. Like, I don't delete a comment I make unless I said an asshole thing and I regret it.
How often does that
Like,
happen?
pretty often. Like, I'll get drunk in Reddit and I'll be like, someone will snap at me, but they don't deserve it. Because, like, I mean, like, sometimes, some nights, like, 40 people in a row will tell me to fuck off, basically. And so that 41st person will say something slight, and I'll fucking say, well, you know what? Go fuck off. And so I'm a person. I'm only human. And so, yeah, I'll snap. And then 2 hours later, I'll realize I shouldn't have said that. That was a dick move. And I'll send them a PM saying, hey, dude, I'm sorry. You just caught me at a bad time. And I'll delete my post, which is, okay. And so, but if I lose 100 comment, like one of my most
But
downvoted
don't you want
things,
to? Don't you want to just try to avoid being an asshole on Reddit?
no, I'm
It's
myself.
just gonna happen
If I,
sometimes, just like in real life.
well, like one of my most downvoted comments was there was this little Mexican boy who was shot and killed by police by a border guard because the border guard caught his friend, and so the other kid starts throwing rocks at him. And like it's 3 or 4 kids throwing rocks at this police officer. So the police officer returned fire and shot one of the kids and killed him. And so I said, I don't agree with what he did, but it's not smart to throw rocks at people with guns. Because it's not. I don't give a fuck who you are. It's not smart to throw rocks at people with guns. I don't care if they should know better than to use this gun. It's not intelligent. And so I lost like 100 points for that post.
Again, points don't matter.
But I mean, like, I didn't delete it. It's still there on my user
Right.
profile. Like, you can still find it. But I lost 100 points. And I could have deleted it when I lost 1 point. And so I wouldn't have. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to be up in points and not down.
But again,
Like the house always wins.
but but again, it doesn't really matter. And in the end, they're just points on the internet.
Well, I mean, like I quit Dig just in one day, and I've had more posts of mine on the front page of Dig than on the front page of Reddit. But I mean, it was losing nothing to me because like if Reddit gets shut down, yeah, I'll have to fill my time on the internet with something else. But in the end of it, it's still just time on the internet. I still have a job, a life, friends. In 30 years, I'm not going to be telling my kids, well, you know what? I had the most points.
Does your experience in Reddit help you in your professional career at all?
I mentioned Reddit at my job interview.
I mean, you have a lot of you talk about like resumes and stuff. You're moderating a community of over 1 million people, and you're a very important voice in that. Like that's not nothing.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, that's what I said. We were talking about. I was like, well, I asked him. He asked if I had any questions for him, and I was like, well, how big of a group would I be working with, and would there be any opportunity for me to, be the leader of the group? And he was like, do you have any leadership, experience? And I was like, well, I moderate one of the large, 5 million people on one of the largest websites in the world. And he was like, man, I thought 250 people under me was rough.
So that did help you.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, I had the job anyway. I'm overqualified for what I do.
What do you do?
I'm a GIS mapper, geographic information systems. I'm basically satellite images and stuff like that. I have a degree in geology, and so it's like, I worked for the USGS for a while doing this, and it's just satellite imaging, and I'm helping oil field companies ruin the world, I guess.
Cool. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it pays the bills.
Sure, it does do that. Reddit is growing so fast. It seems like is it going to scale? Where does it go from here? What do you think the future of Reddit is?
Well, we just passed up 2 billion page views per month, which I don't know how much College Humor has, but it's a significant number.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and so I think it depends, because I think that's why I'm trying, whenever I see a racist comment or a negative comment, I comment on that comment saying, Reddit, we are better than this. And I normally lose karma when I say that.
From people who disagree, and they're like, we're actually not better than this. That's not correct.
Yeah.
This is us.
And so I think Reddit's going to get to a breaking point if it's going to either go the route of 4chan or it's going to go the route of a better community.
Well, that's the thing. It seems like eventually these things get so big that they almost topple. I'm not saying that they necessarily have to, but that has been something that's happened a lot in the past on sites like, again, to bring them up, Dig and Hacker News and a lot of aggregator sites like that.
But Dig didn't fail because it got too big. Dig failed because the owners, the administrators of Dig, decided to do a fundamental change. And Reddit realizes the admins do not change shit. They want the community to do everything, which makes for easier work for them, I guess. But it's smart because it's driven by users. Why shouldn't the users have basically absolute control over what happens?
What could go wrong?
Well, if pictures was no longer the main picture subreddit, like the other subreddit would pass up pictures. Like pictures would probably lose its default status, which is how it should be. I mean, if I can ruin pictures, I personally can't, but the moderators, we could ruin pictures, or we could let the users ruin pictures. But pictures is not infallible. Like, it can fuck up, and so something else will either spring up in its place and it'll be better, or we'll just let that part of the community die, which is not likely going to happen. But that's how I think the only way I could see Reddit dying is if we allowed it to die by either not acting or acting too much. And so it's a fine line we got to walk as moderators and as admins. As like, there's a quote to Bender by the space entity of God saying, if you do everything right, it'll look like you've done nothing at all. And Bender responds with, like a jewel thief or a person who burns down their bar for their insurance money. And it's right. Like, as a moderator, I should have a very subtle hand. But recently, like, whenever I want to change something, I ask the community. And if the community is against it, my rule will topple. I will not even add the rule to the sidebar because I'm not going I'm not going to change something on them if they are not for it. And normally every time I've ever tried to submit a rule, I'm going to say at least 50% are for it, 25% are against it, and 25% don't give a fuck either way. And so it's a fine line. As long as it's more than 50%, I'm all right.
Earlier you said you had written a letter where you had threatened to quit unless Reddit cleaned up his act and got a little less racist, but you obviously didn't. You're back there now.
Well, it's not so much, it wasn't, let me try to find it real quick. It wasn't so much of I'm threatening to quit. This is my, not resignation letter, but this is what I find is wrong with the community. This is my notes on the community. I was leaving for that time being no matter what. But this is what I find right with the community. This is what I found wrong with the community. This is what y'all need to think about. And that post fucking failed so bad. I got like 20 upvotes total. And so, I mean, just because it could have been my suicide pact, it would have been seen by nobody. Like, I could have never come back and no one would have cared.
Andrew, I feel like I've heard you typing a little bit as we've been talking. Have you been checking Reddit during this interview?
No. I'm on Reddit, but I'm trying to find the post I made so that I can read, what I said.
But earlier, as we were talking throughout the past hour or so, have you been on Reddit?
Well, I mean, I always have Reddit up, but I wasn't actively. I'm a member of a few private subreddits, and it sounds bad being like that, but it's more like Facebook on Reddit. Like, there are 70 people in it, and I use everyone's real names, or I'll use, I'll ask them about their families or their pets
right.
or whatever. And so I currently have Skype up, and in the time that I've been talking to you, 800 Skype messages have been sent.
Wow. From that group.
Yeah.
So Reddit really is, it's like a family.
Yeah.
And a lifestyle.
But this is what I try to tell everyone. Reddit is what you make of it. I mean, same as life. If I can just post, I can just read pictures all day. But if I want to make the community better, I can make the community better. If I want to make tons of comments, I can make tons of comments. If I want to be in the small niche subreddits and only, deal with my personal favorite things, it is that. If I want to make friends on Reddit, I can make friends on Reddit. It's whatever you make of, the subreddit.
Well, on behalf of everyone that has wasted a lot of time on the website, that you've spent a lot of your time moderating, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your work. People, where is there anything we can plug? They can go to your profile. It's reddit.com/user/AndrewSmith1986, right?
Yeah, they can go to my profile. They can leave me a message, do whatever. I mean, you can see all the shitty things I've posted in the last, 5 years and all my comments. But I mean, I don't really have any. I have Andrew's Adventure Time is a subreddit, and it's basically saying I'd like to take a trip around the world, and people can post there and say, well, if you're ever in this city, I have a couch you can sleep on. Or if you're ever in this city, it's one of my personal jokes for, like, whenever I quit my job in Europe, I traveled around for a month, and I tried to make Reddit meetups in every city I went to. And like, we had some good ones in Berlin. We had 30 people meet up. We ate dinner, and we'd go drink at someone's house, smoke some weed, whatever. And so Reddit is what you make of it. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, that is Reddit/r/ what was it? Andrew's Adventure Time?
Andrew's Adventure Time.
Andrew's Adventure Time. Andrew, thank you so much for talking to us tonight.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thus concludes another episode of the Jeff Rubin Show, but I still have some after-the-fact fact-checking to do. None about this week's episode. As far as I can tell, everything you just heard was perfect. But I do want to talk a little bit more about last week's episode about turning books into movies. I thought I got everything in the after-the-fact fact-check after last week's episode, but there was still one detail that someone left a comment about on my blog, and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm complaining, because when someone corrects me, that's something since this is my show, I didn't know, and since it's my show, it's something I'm interested in, and it's something I didn't know about something I'm interested in. So please continue to fact check me, just like Tyler did on this comment on my blog. Tyler says, I am admittedly a huge Douglas Adams fan. I don't know why he says admittedly. It's going to be very clear with the following few sentences he wrote. A fun fact about the series, though, of course we're talking about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, is that the BBC radio show actually came first while Adams was working on a few crappy freelance jobs. It was played at some ungodly time that no one should actually listen to until someone liked it and told him to write a book. So he did, then had a huge hand in the BBC TV series production. He worked on the video game and some early drafts of the movie script. So it's a cool story in that it doesn't really technically even have an original format, as Adams himself messed with it a little bit in each version. Really interesting. Maybe it didn't deserve to be included in our conversation about books being turned into movies, but I love Hitchhiker, so I'm glad we got a chance to bring it up. Tyler, thank you for filling in some holes in my knowledge there, for correcting me, and for getting on the show. You get one lucky Jeff Rubin point. And don't forget, if you collect 200 Jeff Rubin points, you can redeem them at your local Pizza Hut for a half-priced appetizer. If you've noticed a mistake I made, maybe you have a suggestion for a future guest on the show, maybe you want to complain, you can get in touch with me at my Twitter, that is at Jeff Rubin Show, on my Tumblr blog, that is jeffrubin.com, on YouTube at youtube.com/JeffRubin, or on my Facebook fan page. I'll see you guys Tuesday.